man, it's been an intense last few days. I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, which I'm sure you haven't been, man, the crypto market, fear and greed. I just gotta say, I know other YouTubers are saying this, but this is so fucking important. Fear and greed, with fear being at 6 under extreme fear, right? We have not seen this level. Very rarely do we ever go there. I mean, even in extended bear markets, which we're not in. Yeah, well, the last time we were there was April, and you all know what happened after April. We dipped down to fear, crash. Oh no, it's over. And then we went on a fucking insane run later on in April and May, June. So we have not seen that level since April. Remember what happened in April? Okay. And now we're doing it all over again. And with again, with fear so low. I mean, even when fear is below 30, it's a good time to buy. But now below 20, and it's just an insane, like basically any crypto in the top, top 50, top 100, it's all a steal. And I don't know how the vast majority of them won't go. We're talking about like, the large, not like shitcoin number 972, but maybe even that one too. Who knows? But those will move later, right? So first, the order goes Bitcoin, Ethereum, then it trickles down to the large caps, Doge, XRP, not necessarily in this order, but large caps will generally take their turn. Solana, AVAX, XLM, what have you, and then mid caps and small caps. That plus the other thing is we're seeing sectors, right? Most recently, I guess we're still technically in the midst of the privacy coin pump. That's been going on for a little while now, led by Zcash, but others, notably like Dash, Monero, Horizon, one of my favorites I've talked about many times on this channel, Verge, to some extent, but ARRR, Pirate Chain, that's a smaller cap privacy coin, and now. I want to now something a lot of people haven't mentioned that I think it's important to note, because yes, this is about privacy coins right now, but when other sectors have their pump, whether it's DeFi, whether it's gaming, metaverse, AI, I mean, there's lots of sectors, right? But they may follow a similar format. So I want to point this out. With the privacy pump, we saw, because this is kind of still early on, and most altcoins haven't really had their move yet. We saw the large cap led by Zcash. Well, now it's definitely a large cap, but of the privacy coins, I think it's between Zcash and Monero as the largest caps, and that pumped a lot more than the mid cap and the small cap. So Horizon, I would call that like a mid cap, relatively speaking, although small cap compared to other coins, but mid cap within the privacy coin sector. That pumped like a middle amount, and then the small cap, like Verge, XVG, that pumped even less, because we're still early on in the whole, let's say, altcoin season. I mean, it hasn't really started except for the privacy sector. And I believe this would happen. To me, it makes sense. This is just my best guess. It makes sense that whenever the sector rotates, and let's just say DeFi goes next, right? I imagine that the large caps will probably lead the charge. So what are, the OG privacy, and it's also important to note that these are all OG coins that we're pumping. Verge, Horizon, Monero, Zcash, and even R has been around for several years now. So just logically, okay, so the DeFi coins, it'll be OG DeFi. Uniswap is probably first and foremost. So like Uniswap, Aave, those are kind of like semi-tied. I mean, they do different things, but they're both like OG, tried and true DeFi coins. So like when those pump, those might lead, and those might do the most in percent. So those are, right now, people are going with like the safest. At least that's what I am doing myself too. Why take risks on something, really like some small shit coin out on the, past number 100 or 200, when you can still get really solid gains with such an OG blue chip. Again, like like I said, like there's Monero, there's Zcash. Even though the price hasn't been doing well, it's still an OG. Like it wasn't going away, right? And so now thinking ahead, because we always want to think one step ahead to actually. I would not. Of course, can they go higher? Absolutely, and they probably will. But for any fresh cash, I would not put into something that's already pumped when there's still so many alts out there that have yet to do anything. And let's begin. Always talking about Doge because Doge is the best performing altcoin in crypto history that has the only one that has hit a new all-time high in every single cycle, and it's been around longer than most. So every cycle it's been in, it's hit a new all-time high. No other altcoin has done that. That's been around, let's say, more than one cycle, right? So so Doge, absolutely. And then we have the whole ISO 222 altcoins that we saw a huge pump from those much earlier in the year. And since then, they've just kind of petered off and gotten boring again. So now it's time to get interested in those. So that's XRP, right? Then the other big ones in the ISO 222. So the XRP and XLM are the two biggest. And then HBAR is almost tied with XLM. I don't remember the exact market cap, but HBAR is right up there. And then if you want a slightly, let's say higher risk to reward, slightly lower market cap, ISO 222, we have Algorand, ALGO, and we have this is just off the top of my head. Wait, don't tell me. It's IOTA, right? IOTA, I believe it's also in that category. But what I'm doing, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I got Algorand because I really like the chart. It's really like it's way down from its high, and it's also it's going to pump when XRP and XLM pump, and it has much more room even than XRP and XLM to the upside. Although it's important to note, although XRP and XLM, and again HBAR, let's throw HBAR in there, may lead the charge. So let's go back to privacy for a second. So now I'm talking about the small caps here for a minute. Yes, like Zcash definitely led the charge. Yeah, but over the let's say over the next few months or by next year, just that's called long run in crypto terms. The small caps are definitely going to play catch up, and when they do, I expect them to outperform massively. Like poof, they might not last long, and you're going to have to get out. When you set some alerts or something for when they pump, or just keep your eye on them. But if you don't obviously, and I wouldn't put all my money in it, but as a conservative, or no, as a strategic, that's the word, strategic risk to reward. I've got Verge. So personally, I did have some Zcash. I sold it all too early, let's say, but I made a little profit on it. But I'm holding my Verge, even though Verge has pumped along with privacy. I'm still holding that because I know it's going to go way higher. It's still like, I don't know what percent down, like over 90% down from its all-time high. So same thing with DeFi, same thing with any sector you want to play. I think it's nice to have a balanced portfolio at this point. I would still lean, again, just because we're down so much and everything is such an extreme fear, the first coins that people are generally going to pump, that are going to trust the most, are going to be the large cap, the OG, the blue chips. So I would still, and this, again, what I'm doing is I'm still keeping most of my portfolio percentage-wise in that, and that's not even counting Bitcoin and ETH. Bitcoin at this point, if you still have some, I would start, at least slowly. Okay, over the next years, depends on your time frame. But I mean, Bitcoin is definitely going to go higher. But if you want something over the next few months that's going to go much higher, I would really start rotating that Bitcoin and sprinkling it into the top, let's say top 20, top 50 blue chip OG cryptos that have not yet had their pump. Okay, so I just already mentioned a few. Also, Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin are in many ways similar to Zcash, because people are going to look for like, what's the next Zcash? Okay, no, they're not privacy, although Bitcoin Cash does have some privacy features. They have, I think it's called Cash Shuffle or something. It's like a way that you can anonymously mix Bitcoin Cash. And but besides not having privacy like Bitcoin and Litecoin, are also super OG. They've been around for many, many years. They have a limited supply. They're mined. I mean, they're essentially copies of Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin Cash is a straight up fork, is the original fork of Bitcoin. But Litecoin is also essentially a copy. It's just faster and cheaper to send. And yeah, so those are pretty good, pretty solid. You know, if you were looking for like the next Zcash, I'm not saying it's going to pump as much as Zcash, but yeah, for the prices they're at now, it's just a no-brainer. So much opportunity in the market, guys. I could ramble all day, but as long as bottom line, as long as fear and greed is below 20, and I said this before, below 30, so now below 20, it's even better. I mean, you're going to look back on this. I make a bet with anyone, like a month from now, you're going to look back on this video and be like, I wish I bought more. And I wish personally, I would love to put in more, but I've already overinvested everything that I have. And I've even taken out small, very small leverage loans on some of my spot holdings just because like such a no-brainer. And yes, let's just admit before I end the video, there is a slight, the only risk right now is zero. Like the only possible teensy tiny risk would be if you are doing leverage and you have like high leverage, but like, why would you do that? Just there's no point unless you're a professional, you know, trader and you really know what you're doing. But if you're like, you know, one of the top level professionals, you probably wouldn't be watching my channel anyway, because, you know, this is more just like solid, tried and true, common sense advice for, yeah, let's say the average crypto bro, or not even crypto bro, which is like beginner to intermediate level investing. You know, someone who doesn't want to spend 24/7 watching the charts and just losing their entire life. Hey, bro. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, thanks for stopping by. So yeah, do you have any questions? India, all right. Actually, where I'm staying now, my roommate's from India. He's coming back in a couple of days, so he's there. He's bringing me papadum. I'm really excited because you cannot get good papadum where I'm at, unfortunately. So he's going to bring me back real papadum. Anyway, with that said, I'll probably end this here. I appreciate the love and support. Yeah, thanks, man. And okay, well, I will see you guys on the next one. Just hang in there. Buy as much as you possibly can, as long as it's not leveraged, or, you know, if you absolutely have to, like me, this is not financial advice, but, you know, take out a very, very, very tiny leveraged loan on your crypto. Okay, as long as it's like 10 to 20% max loan to value. That's what I'm doing. But anyway, U.S. shutdown over. Yeah, yes, it is. That's another factor why we're all set to go up. I mean, finally the government shutdown is over. So I think, actually, I'm not in the U.S., but I think that's what I heard. So yeah, that's just another reason for crypto to go up again. All right, this is getting long, so I'm going to end this one. And yeah, take care. Have a good one.